The last training session for January. January has simultaneously flown and has been the longest month of my entire life. What we'll do in the next coming days, we'll do a recap of everything that's happened in January, not just training, but everything in general. You saw the list there about who was training, who was not training. It was a little bit of carnage today, I dare say, unfortunately. We had McStay cop a knock from TJ in a marking contest. He went off, not limping or anything, looked a little bit groggy, but he didn't come back on. So he went off pretty early. I want to say about an hour and a little bit in, and he didn't come back on. Another one who got the knock later on in the piece, and you'll see that footage, was Dematea in a contest, a marking contest with Will Parker. Doesn't look like a concussion, but it looks like he did get a pretty big knock. But we'll see that as it plays out in the next couple of days of what's happening here. Here we've got Tom Mitchell doing some running. He's still not in football boots, still nursing that stress fracture. He was doing a little bit of kicking as well. It's just nice to see him out on the park, which you always want to see. And he's one guy that I just want back in that best 23 squad when we're playing. So there was a couple of things that went into this session. There was a lot of conditioning, lots of running, lots of simple drills that you'll kind of see around here. And towards the end, there was a lot of mat simulations. Some of them were scenario-based simulations, so going down the wings, and then right at the end, so like going down the wings and transitioning, and then right at the end, it was full drill match simulations, and it was just incredible to see. One thing that I am spewing about is that Reef McGuinness didn't train at all because of that sort of knock that he copped last week. I think it was with Beau. We talked about it, and it looks like it may be a delayed sort of concussion or something like that. He just wasn't training. He was on the bike and just on the boundary, but I'm spewing because he wasn't in match simulation, so we couldn't see him go about it in a full sim, and spewing about that. One thing you'll see here, and one thing I did mention, is that McStay and Billy Frampton are practicing with the ruckman. Usually it's just literally just the four rucks, but now they've chucked in Billy Frampton and McStay in this one. They have been training with the rucks here and there, but it was nice to see them here. And I say that because I've got Tim Membrey in my best 23 and no Mason Cox, so I think Dan McStay and Billy Frampton, when he plays, will take a little bit of the ruck duties in the arcs, and then Cameron sort of goes between the arcs. I didn't specifically lock on one player or anything like that like I usually do. I tried to get a couple of footage of like Lucky Schultz, Harry Perryman and stuff like this. But there were a few guys that did really impress me. I think, and I've said this all week, I'm pretty sure, Will Hayes was absolutely incredible again today. Lock him in for that early season smoky debut. I just feel it in my bones. Another guy in match sim that really showed a lot was Dan Houston. his execution with the ball was just second to none. Beau McCreary here as well, really strong, especially in match sim. They're playing as that sort of high half forward. Lipinski was on the wing a lot, so maybe I was wrong in saying Lipinski should be a sub, but I just don't know what that sub sort of looking like, and we'll go over that a little bit more later. But there was a lot of exciting things happening today. Speaking of Tim Membry, they were looking for him at every opportunity they could. And maybe, you could say, oh, look, that's because Dan McStay wasn't there. And yeah, you're probably right. It's because Dan McStay wasn't there. But every opportunity they had, they were going to Membry, and he was marking and clunking everything. And another guy, Lockie Schultz, did really well in this match team as well. But Tim Membry, just watch out for him. He could kick 30 goals this season. Here's that footage of Dan McStay. This is the last time he was on the ground. He left. You can see that he's not limping, so he looks to be okay. They're just going to be overcautious with him because of that ACL injury that he had. Tommy McGuire absolutely smashed it. This will be his last training session before he goes back to school. So we'll see him in Keeler. I think the Coates League as well, maybe. But it's going to be a nice little journey seeing what he does this season. So after that scenario transition training, they go straight into just hard running, which is just insane. I'm looking at this and I was watching it and I was getting puffed out and I was doing nothing but standing and drinking water. So you can only imagine. So these guys will do all the running and then bang back into full match sim.
You need to get back to me on a date as well, mate, so we can look that in.
This kick by Beau to Membrey is just pure, oh my god, just perfection. Darcy Moore gets sort of caught out, but he's trying to guard that space. It's actually Isaac's man that sort of gets away from him, so it's on Isaac there, not Darcy. But that's what you're going to get from Membrey. And this is, you'll notice number 7, that's Jamie Elliott. So Jamie Elliott, he didn't play, from what I could see anyway, he wasn't playing forward at all. He was just not in the mid, but almost as like a really high half forward. And that's that knock between Demetia and Will Parker that I was talking about earlier. They don't, Demetia comes off, Will Parker stays on. But yeah, Jamie Elliott, they were just playing him sort of between the arcs, going into 50 and not necessarily as a deep forward, because you do have like Membrey and Schultz and those targets there. So you'll see more of the match sim now. I'll shut up so you can just enjoy the match sim and enjoy the sounds of match sim. And then, leave your comments down below what you think of this sort of couple of minutes and who impresses you the most with the footage that I've taken. And that was it for the final training session of January. Bobby and Will Hayes had a bit of a goal kickoff here. Bobby won, of course. Will Hayes, master and apprentice sort of stuff. But anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. I'll swoop you later. Pre-order that swoop cap. There's a lot of fun things coming this year. Oh, you guys have no idea.